that the drivers and the people that are using the trains and the buses care about the public. And in listening today, one thing I noticed is, it sounds like you guys are going to have to make sure that safety is number one. Because it sounds like in Milwaukee Light Rail, if you don't follow and make safety number one, your people are not going to vote and you're not going to get the money. In October, I came to you and I told you about the fact about my son and how he laid there and all of that. I got an email from Shelley telling me that they follow certain procedures. And then I asked her, went back and emailed her back and said, well, did you look at my sons? Did you see if they followed those procedures? I'll be happy to talk to you. Never heard back. In November, I came, I listened. Dave and I sat there and listened to you guys talk about how the certifications aren't going to get done for 6 months. And in the next breath, we talk about the millions of dollars for Milwaukee Light Rail. The next day was Thanksgiving. How do you think as parents how we felt? It just looks like, I know you're trying hard. He talked about today about making sure that these things are set up correctly. You know, we can talk, you can keep talking, but it's showing. I met Rick out in Gresham. He was the first time anybody's ever taken the time like you to say, you know what, I really do care and you really have made an impact. So we went out, and I know he talked about it at the safety meeting, but I don't think he talked about a few things. This platform in Gresham, I showed him that it's very, very thin. 600 kids in a school, there's a mall, and it's very, very thin, and there's no rails, and the train comes in. I found out that the trains are built different. Your new ones and your old ones, the doors are in different places. So the reason that you aren't putting a railing there to protect the pedestrian and make it safer for the driver of the LRT is because the doors open in a different place. So use the newer trains then, or figure out a way that you can put a railing in there. The other thing was that when the drivers came in, I would show them the mistakes that they would make, like not ringing the bell, going out of the train too fast, or the station too fast, coming in. You know, and Rick said, and if I can say Rick said, I would have never noticed that. Well, you know what? It's because I've lived this, and I ask that you put together a task force of just safety. Come on, we've talked about it. We put it together. It was the same things as before. Bring in the public, because when a supervisor stands there, the driver of the train necessarily does do the things they're supposed to. And here's another thing I found out, and it's been almost 8 years since my son died. When there's two trains, one in the station and one coming in and crossing the road, they're supposed to be ringing a bell so that people know that there's another train. Now, I found this out from a TriMet person, and I've never heard it in all the years I've sat and watched light rail. So I'm continuing to ask you, it's a culture. Help these people out by making sure they are trained. As time goes on, you keep hitting people. And you can't just blame the LRT drivers, because they don't know some of the things that they should be doing because they're not trained correctly. You know, we talked about life safety, about that program. And education is just so important for me, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here again today, is that we talk about it every month, but we don't do anything. Is there grants that you've gotten? The federal grant coming from Milwaukee Line has to have given them money for education, because that's part of it. So have we checked into that to make sure that we can go into these schools? Is that a non-paid? I want to make sure we do go into the schools and the public knows, and that people coming in from out of town. But I appreciate you, the board, but the board's got to make them more responsible, more apparent. Did they bring in that new safety person? Is that new safety person talk at these meetings or only at the other meetings? So I'm just asking that we continue and make safety number one. If you really want Portland to be the one, then we need to show the public that it is about safety and not just building the Milwaukee Light Rail line because you need the money coming in so that you can support the other systems.
Thanks, Darla. You certainly, you and Dave have done a great job of focusing the agency's attention on safety for some time and accelerating the process. And I do think we are addressing, in a broad number of initiatives, safety and accelerating that process. I'm personally committed to that, and I appreciated meeting with you and seeing the results of the work that you've done in the past to make our system safer. Thanks.
What I'd like to be able to see, though, is that we do start and do talk about the safety, make it apparent, and that we, the public, can start seeing that. Because somebody like me, I have to come back and come back and come back. Come on.
Yeah.
We've lost our children.
Yeah. Hopefully you won't have to soon. So thank you.